Hi everybody, Pat Huntoon here from Technique Junkies, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful background that's shimmery and pretty, and it uses a mask from a Colorful Life Designs, and I'm going to show you how to make this XO background. So we are starting today, and that one was done with oranges and reds, but today I'm going to be using purple and pink. We're going to make it a little bit different. And I am actually starting, I have my work surface, which is the Tim Holtz mat, and I could spray right on that, but to make cleanup a little easier, I'm just going to spray onto paper towels here. And you notice I don't have this in a box because when I spray, I don't get the spray all the way around the outer edges of my work surface, and I'm going to show you how that works. So I am starting Shimmering Bliss Mardi Gras first, and you can see I was rolling it between my hands because when you first pick these up, all of the mica goes to the bottom. So rather than not have something be shimmery, you want to get all the shimmer you can in there, and you want to mix that mica around, and the best way to do that is to roll it between your hands. Okay, so as you can see, all of that mica is off the bottom. You never really want to shake it up and down because shaking it up and down pushes all that mica up into the nozzle over and over again, and that's how a lot of nozzles get clogged. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting with my hand all the way down on the table, and I'm lifting it up 1 inch. I am 1 inch away from this table. I'm not 6 inches above, I'm 1 inch. Okay, and I'm going to do nice, long, even strokes. And I'm going to be stroking this as many times as I want and as I need to make this rich and colorful. Okay, so I have a habit to do long lines, so I'm going to move this around a little bit. So I'm going to mix up the pink now, the thulium pink, until that's all mixed up. And then I'm going to do the same thing with pink. Nice, long, even strokes. Oh, I just love the way these two look together. This is going to be a beautiful piece. And we'll just put it randomly here and there. You just want to make sure that it's fully covered. And these two colors work together really nicely. They're going to blend in nicely where they overlap. So what I'm going to do is set that aside to dry. I can use a heat tool on this if I so choose. The other thing is, I didn't mention, you can use watercolor paper with this. I am using 80-pound Neenah Solar White cardstock. And the reason I'm using the 80-pound Neenah Solar White is because I think you get a better stamp with a cardstock than you do with a watercolor cardstock. So I'm just going to move this to the side, let it dry, and I'll be right back at you. Okay, before I cut this down, I want to show you that I used a heat tool on this rather than drying it, and it's a rather rocky piece of cardstock now, because when you put water on something like a non-watercolor paper, sometimes it will stretch out the fibers in the cardstock. If you let it dry naturally, it will dry flatter than if you use a heat tool. However, there is a way around this to make this nice and flat again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a piece of paper, and I'm going to stick this into my laminator, which I just turned on, and let it run through, and I'll come back and show you. This is one way, and then I'm going to show you two other ways that you can also flatten it out. As you can see, I'm going to take it out, and you can see just by putting it through the laminator, look how nice and flat that is. The pressure in the heat in the laminator gets that nice and flat. Now I can cut this in half without worrying on having it be uneven. The other way that you can flatten this out is to put it through your Big Shot. You use the sandwich for a die cut, and you add an extra piece of thick cardstock to it, and make sure you put a piece of paper around this so that you don't get shimmer anywhere or wetness anywhere, and run it through and it'll flatten it right out. The third way to do it is to use your butt oven, and that's BUTT oven. This is a Diane Reevely thing. It really does work. What you do is you take the piece, put it in a piece of paper, stick it between your leg, your thigh, and your chair, your upper thigh, your butt thigh where it's widest, and your chair, and just sit on it for a little while. You don't have to sit on it long, and you'll be shocked at how flat they come out. So those are three ways that you can flatten cardstock that's gotten wet like this. So I'm going to cut this down. Okay, so this is nice and cut down, and what we're going to do now is I'm going to take this piece, and I am going to add the mask to it. Now, I don't know if everyone knows the difference between a mask and a stencil, but this is a stencil where you are pushing ink or whatever substance you're using through the hole to create the design. This is a mask. The X's and the O's are actually the plastic. So in order to get the design, you push whatever you're doing through the negative part of the image. So we are actually going to be using ink on this one. We could use spray if we want and just spray over the top, but this time we're just going to be using ink. So what I'm going to do is just tack this down. I'm using purple tape. You can use pixie spray if you have it and attach this down. You won't hurt anything by using pixie spray. I'm just going to put that down. And I think I'll do the sides too because I don't want this to move. The good thing about using the inks is that if it does move, you just line it back up again and put it back into place. So you can use whatever color inks you like to blend with. But I want to show you this. I want to show you with a VersaFine Clair. This is VersaFine Clair Nocturne, and yes, I know this is a pigment ink, but it works beautifully for this because it has a nice coverage to it. So I'm just going to take my blending brush and blend it up on there. My finger's always on top of my blending brush. I think it gives you a much better purchase over your brush, and I'm just going to blend it over. Now, obviously, you want this to look somewhat black. You're never going to get it black unless you spend 25 minutes with it. And although when you're putting it down, it does look like it's purple or pink, you'll see when I lift it that it does look very black. If you don't like to get your hands dirty on this one because you're using black ink, I suggest that you use gloves, but you don't have to. I don't mind washing my hands 1,000 times. And I'm just going to speed this up so you don't have to watch me do this in real time. Okay, so that black is all on there. Let's do a quick reveal here. I do want to show you, although I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but it does have a more purple tint to it as far as the black is concerned. Like when I did the red one, it had more of a red tint. But you can see just how black that is. Isn't that super cool? Okay, and then all you need to do to finish this off and to give it a really cool feel to it and really highlight the black, and this is optional if you'd like to make it look this way, is just ink up the edge. And there you go. Beautifully colored background. And again, this is Thulian Pink and Mardi Gras. You still have all the shimmer on there, just like we did with the reds here, the red and oranges here. This one was Dragon's Blood and Just Squeezed. So I'm going to finish off both my cards, the one I did previously and the purple pink one, with the Love You More set, the SS079 Love You More. So I'm going to stamp matching pieces to these, and I will be right back. So here are the finished projects using the Love You More set and the Joseph's Coat Shimmering Bliss. I think it's a really cool project. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching today. Bye now.